Tonight, we finally hear from America's Attorney General, who wants Coloradans to stop smoking recreational marijuana.
I, as you know, am dubious about marijuana.
Get it? He's dubious about weed. Or maybe that wasn't a joke, in which case he's probably coming for our pot. It's snowing now, won't be later. We'll leave the details to a trained meteorologist. There's all this outrage that one member of Colorado's congressional delegation isn't holding town halls. But are the rest of them doing any better? A mother begs Aurora to do something about the spot where her son died. Denver International Airport celebrates a birthday as we look back on the awkward early years.
Was this?
And the media are providing fresh proof of why they hate us. We'll discuss that on Next. Attorney General Jeff Sessions isn't letting up in his crusade against legal marijuana. Today, he spoke to a gathering of the state's attorneys general, which I mention only because Colorado Attorney General Cynthia Coffman was there, and also because it's fun to say the plural version, attorneys general. But you know what's not fun, kids? Cannabis.
I'm not sure we're going to be a better, healthier nation that if we have marijuana being sold at every corner grocery store.
Marijuana in every corner grocery store? Attorney General Sessions. That is not how it works. The corner grocery stores are forced out by rising rent prices fueled by the marijuana business, and then they're replaced by pot shops on every corner, and that is where they sell the marijuana. He's criticizing the system, and he doesn't even know how it works. Colorado Attorney General Cynthia Coffman, fellow Republican, no proponent of recreational marijuana herself, tweeted today that she's ready to share Colorado's experience and insight with Attorney General Sessions. Not sure if he's looking for advice from Colorado, though. In that same speech today, he mocked a Washington Post op-ed written by Sam Kamen. He's the marijuana regulation expert from DU who was right here with us last Friday. Kamen wrote that America's opioid crisis is one more reason to offer a safer alternative like marijuana.
Give me a break. I mean, you know, this is the kind of argument that has been made out there, to just almost a desperate attempt to defend the harmlessness of marijuana or even its benefits. I doubt that's true.
You can read Sam Kamen's op-ed on marijuana regulation on the Next Facebook page. Liberal groups are accusing Republican members of Congress of dodging town hall meetings, suggesting they're afraid to face voters who aren't happy with the Trump administration. Senator Cory Gardener and Congressman Mike Coffman are getting the brunt of it right now. What we have yet to see is a deep look at whether they're really behaving any differently. Politics guy Brandon Ritterman is here to verify, are the Republicans ducking town halls?
At first, we figured, how on earth are we going to fact check this? It's not like there's some database of every town hall every member of Congress ever had, or at least that's what we thought. Actually, a for-profit congressional tracking service called Legistorm is keeping track. We started with their list and ran it by all 9 members of Congress from Colorado. Some of them did show us evidence of events that were not on the original list. We were looking for public, non-campaign events held by our members where any constituent could show up and, in theory, have the chance to ask a question. Here's what we've got from the start of 2014 through today. And you'll notice the lowest number of town hall events belongs to Senator Michael Bennet, a Democrat, who a lot of the left-leaning protesters think is pretty great. He had 3. Republican Senator Cory Gardener doesn't come out a lot better. He's second to last on this list with 9. Both senators pointed us to a laundry list of other appearances, meetings with groups in Colorado, but they were not town halls. Republican Mike Coffman is in the middle of the pack with 26, and Democrat Jared Polis is tops with 47. Now, this list includes telephone and internet town halls. Part of the reason this is even an issue is because people want to be able to look a member of Congress in the eye in person and give them a piece of their mind. So, if we strip away the remote events and just look at in-person town halls, you can see both senators are still in last place, but now it's Gardner with 1 fewer than Bennett, and Coffman is now tied for 3rd. Finally, let's look at the plus-minus. We have under each member's name how many in-person town halls they've had last month and this month, and then how that compares to the first 2 months of 2015, the last non-election year. Both of the senators are zeroed out. So are Congressman Lamborn and Tipton, though Tipton has a history of doing these in the summertime. Republican Ken Buck has a steep drop-off because he did a bunch of town halls after taking office for the first time in 2015 and didn't repeat that tour. Everybody else, including Mike Coffman, is within 1 town hall of what they had in the last odd year. The numbers of meetings didn't change a lot in early 2017. What has changed is the person in the Oval Office and the balance of power in Congress. So when protesters complain about Gardner and Kaufman ducking town halls, what they really seem to want is more opportunities than before to challenge the side that won. It's by no means wrong to ask for more access, but it is worth knowing that our members of Congress mostly haven't changed the way they do this. For Next, I'm Brandon Ritteman.
Dropping some facts there. One note, so this data that Brandon got a hold of only goes back to 2013. Senator Michael Bennet did host many more town halls on Obamacare back when Democrats were in the hot seat in 2009. We at Next admire those who try to turn a tragedy into the impetus for something good. And we're hearing from Stephanie Puckett for the first time since her son David was found dead in the pond at Olympic Park in Aurora. She's asking City Council to convert that pond into a safe splash park for kids.
Since David's death, we've since seen other children playing in that pond, and it's absolutely terrifying to us. Our family knows the pain and heartache, and we don't want any other family to go through that.
David, her 6-year-old, went missing on New Year's Eve, and it was days before he was found in the pond. Stephanie says she's even willing to raise money to help create the splash park, and the funding appears to be a sticking point.
I've asked the staff for the cost, and I have yet to find out exactly how much it will cost. I'm figuring maybe $500,000. I'm not sure. It may be less.
And there's time to work on this. The city finalizes next year's budget this fall, and there is clearly interest on City Council to find some money in the budget for that splash park. President Trump addresses a joint session of Congress in about an hour. It'll be live on 9 News at 7 o'clock. Before our political experts talk to you about what to expect tonight, a Smart Next viewer had a suggestion for them. Super Balan from Longmont suggested that sometimes Ian and Kelly should swap roles. Argue the other side for once.
Look, if I'm a Republican, the one thing I want to hear Donald Trump say is how he plans to pay for all this stuff. A $54 billion increase in military spending, a possible continuation of the Medicaid expansion. And now we're finding out that he might be talking about amnesty for millions and millions of people who are here without documents. So if I'm a Republican, I want answers on the immigration thing first and foremost, but I also want to make sure that all of these giant plans that Trump has been announcing, from an infrastructure project to replacing Obamacare, has an actual price tag to it, and that it is a fiscally responsible way to go forward.
I think if I were a Democrat, the thing I would really want is for this entire thing to go off the rails, because it seems like that's exactly what Democrats are looking for. That's what we're seeing from this group, quote, indivisible, which is apparently created just to create division. They're really looking for everything to be unhinged, for Donald Trump to be over the top, and for this entire thing to fall apart. Unfortunately, for them, Donald Trump is actually doing quite a few of the things he said he would.
That went okay. I mean, they kind of took Subra's suggestion, right? It was a good suggestion. We'll try that again from time to time just to keep things fresh. Following the president's speech tonight, I invite you to join me on Facebook, either my page or the Next Facebook page, for another edition of Next After Dark. We fire up a live video discussion. It's your view, it's my view, nothing's off limits, your comments, your questions. Next After Dark on Facebook, right after the president finishes speaking. In today's edition of This Is Why They Hate Us, Kellyanne Conway sitting with her feet on a White House couch. This is not a story. It is not a story when the Washington Post covers it, not when the New York Times covers it. It is not a story when 9news.com posted a link to the USA Today article. It is simply not a story. Just like it wasn't a story when President Obama occasionally put his feet up on his desk at the White House. There are plenty of substantive reasons to quibble with Kellyanne Conway. For instance, her penchant for offering up nonsense and untruths in TV interviews, but not the way she's sitting. Journalists know better. Pot-stirring stories like that. Clickbait. That's why they hate us. DIA has grown into a mature, beautiful airport. On her birthday, we look back at the growing pains.
And the thing that made people laugh the most was this.
Colorado legislators are hard at work on the important issues, like a new license plate with a chili pepper on it, and a friendly officer who decided kids deserve a place to play their own way. Next.
there, welcome back. I'm meteorologist Kathy Sabin. Well, kind of a wimpy storm as we say goodbye to the month of February, our fourth snowiest month on average. But hello, March, our snowiest month on average with about 11 inches of snow typically, and no sign that that is going to happen. As a matter of fact, our latest storm is already out of here. It was colder today, yes, anywhere from a trace to about 2 inches of snow across the city, south and east of the area, but not particularly troublesome for evening commuters as we had feared. Heavier snow bands progressing east around the Byers and Lyman areas out toward Burlington, but moving very quickly from the northwest toward the southeast. And so, as skies clear, temperatures drop, but winter weather advisories continue for the high country. Winter storm warning for the southern mountains with 10 to 20 inches of snow already on the ground. Kim Euler saying hello from Purgatory. And well, who doesn't want to go skiing at Silverton Mountain with a picture like that? Our weather picture changing a little bit, a little shift in the weather pattern. High pressure coming in, and you know what that means. H for happy. And yes, you will have wonderful travel conditions across the state for the next 24 to 48 hours, and a warming trend as we head into the weekend. Tonight, cold flurries ending, skies will be clearing. Tomorrow with sunshine, not a warm day. Unfortunately, wind will be a feature this week, but so will spring-like temperatures in the 60s and maybe even 70s for the first few days of March.
Kathy, thanks. DIA turns 22 today. Much like the A-line, the train to the plane, DIA had some early struggles. And 9 News legend Ed Sardella had jokes. Enjoy this classic look back in a report from 1995.
Time keeps on wasting, wasting, wasting. Another delay. When will it open, open, open? Who's gonna pay?
It seems everybody had fun at DIA's expense. Just the name itself was enough to get some people started.
We're going to drive to the airport. Takes half a day. Oh, who's gonna pay for my part? Never thought I'd miss Stapleton.
And the thing that made people laugh the most was this.
Where's my luggage? It's laying in the street.
The state-of-the-art, space-age, high-tech baggage system didn't work.
We thought the baggage thing was a joke.
We had a small camera take a ride on the system, and Good Morning America showed it to the nation.
It was supposed to be a ride of a few minutes' duration, instead making a detour in a whirling maze of machinery. And finally, a worker with a ladder had to be sent to rescue the camera and send it on its way.
I said earlier, the airport isn't even open yet, and already they're losing luggage.
David Brinkley couldn't resist.
In the test, some of it was chewed up into bits by the machinery. Passengers' belongings strewn around the baggage room, shirts, socks, shaving cream, scattered around, a mess.
And finally, when they got part of the baggage system working, it shook the walls and the shelves in the terminal. But now the worst should be over. Or is it? We'll know Tuesday. It was fun while it lasted.
Time keeps on wasting, wasting, wasting. Another delay.
DIA worked out the kinks, just like the A-line eventually will. From all of us here at Next and all of the millions and millions of satisfied passengers who use that airport, happy 22nd birthday, DIA. Numbers are easy for me. May the A-line always reliably deliver all kinds of happy people to and from your door. So it's now a race, I guess, between New Mexico and Colorado to determine which state can be first with a special Chile license plate. Our bill passed the House today. Thank goodness legislators in both states are focusing on the important stuff, you know. That said, there is legitimate interest in this. It's being pushed by the Pueblo Chili Growers Association. They think it'll be good for regional pride and business. Our bill's now on the fast track, so take that, chili lovers of New Mexico. Building a spot where all kids feel welcome to play.
I'm stronger!
Stronger feedback than anything we've seen recently over what I said about the infamous Target rock that cars can't seem to miss. And Gina and Joe are engaged. Have you heard? I'll show myself out. You stay right there. The most Colorado thing we saw today is next. To be straightforward about it. Some kids with autism don't approach the playground with a smile like their classmates. Those daily interactions with other kids, even the equipment itself, can be intimidating. Until they step into the gym in Arvada that our Ryan Harrer visited today.
And I like trains, trucks, cars, vans.
Today, I will fulfill my new friend Robert's lifelong dream.
You know what my lifelong dream has been? To be on the news. I've always wanted to be on the news.
While Amy Wazinski fulfills a much more important need.
Hi, we opened this space because our son Asher is on the spectrum, and we wanted a place where he could come and get some good exercise and some good sensory input.
We Rock the Spectrum in Arvada is geared toward kids with autism. It looks like a big playground, but every piece has a purpose.
The best thing about this place is the sensory input. The swings, the zip line, the trampoline, it all provides necessary input.
Swinging and bouncing and climbing helps kids with autism self-regulate.
The swings are something that are used in occupational therapist's office.
Basically, get them to a place where they don't feel overwhelmed.
And I'm autistic, very special needs, so I get mad really easily.
At 12, Robert already knows what helps solve that issue.
When I get mad, I usually go under the bed because under the bed for me is kind of quiet.
And so does Amy.
And this is a space where kids can come, and if they're overstimulated.
Special needs can make socializing difficult, but when in this gym,
I have 2 girlfriends. But I'm not telling you. There's one who's looking at me.
Kids like Michael make friends.
I like doing that and push my friends off.
And better their motor skills through visual learning and just being a kid.
Fun. The fun. Yeah, they see other kids having fun, and it's like, that's their nudge. They have to try it.
For next,
that was fun.
I'm Ryan Harrer.
We Rock the Spectrum is a franchise, has several dozen locations across the country. The most Colorado thing we saw today is a herd of elk being a third wheel in a relationship. Gina and Joe were getting their engagement photos taken near Rocky Mountain National Park when some elk wandered up. They started taking photos, and more elk kept crowding into the back of the shot, about 20 altogether. And that is the most Colorado thing we saw today. A bunch of you lit me up over what I said about the Target rock last night. Really hard-hitting stuff, and we don't take your feedback for granted. So I'll read a bunch next without the puns. We are getting some feedback here. You have emphatically told us that the Target rock should stay, no matter how many drivers high center their vehicles on that boulder in a median at Colorado Mills Mall in Lakewood. This story has people fired up. I mean, like, really fired up.
OMG, Kyle, do you really think they need to move that rock because people are too stupid to drive around it? The rock does not have a brain, dumbass. Kyle, it's a freaking rock inside the dang curb. Are we saying the rock's the issue or shitly driving? Come on, man. I've got a zero-cost problem with the rock issue. Learn to drive. We're quickly becoming a pathetic society. Love Kyle and love next. Kyle, shut the up. You probably can't drive either. As a driver, you have one job. Don't hit giant stationary objects. People need to take accountability for their actions and quit blaming others. This is the reason people voted for Trump.
Loved it. John Kircher wrote, "This is why they hate us." Nailed it tonight. Grant Suter thanks us for the wonderfully informative story on the number of town hall meetings from each of Colorado's representatives. We thought that context was important. And Andrea Tracy Tucker tweets to say, "My 10-year-old says you need to talk with more expression." You mean like they do on the TV news? Nah, I don't know. But I'll try to be less stone-faced next time.